Because our people think about that in terms of, okay, you have a new life. Yes, you do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, everything is new. Yes, it is. But what do? How does it happen? What has to take place? What has to take place for you to be reborn? There you go. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to read this and I'm going to get right back. Read.
Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's being reborn. Being transformed by the renewing of your mind, by the way you think. You have to think differently now. Because before, you thought worldly, like Christmas. You celebrate Christmas? Huh? You don't?
I mean, it's Jesus Christ's birthday.
No, that's what we was taught. But Christmas is not Jesus Christ's birthday. Christmas has absolutely nothing to do with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? What does Santa Claus have to do with Jesus Christ? Huh? Saint Nick was a killer. You see that? When you read your history and you read about Saint Nicholas, he was a killer. What does the Christmas tree have to do with Christmas?
I guess it's a logo.
No. You want me to show you what it means? Christmas, actually, the tradition of Christmas actually started way back in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? And what America has done is they've taken bits and pieces of our captivity and they've incorporated it into their own traditions. This is what they've done. But this is what happens on what God says not to do. And let's see if it sounds familiar. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord. Excuse me. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
O children of Israel, because believe it or not, you're an Israelite. You're not Hispanic.
Right.
You're not Mexican.
Right.
You're none of those things.
Right.
That was taken from you, and that name was given to you in slavery.
Right.
Hispanic, Spaniard, Spanish. All of that is bywords, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's stick with the holidays for a second. Read.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
The Bible says, learn not the way of the heathen, meaning the other nations.
Right.
Right? Read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, like zodiac signs. You know what I'm saying? Like if I ask you, what's your sign? Huh? Look, see there? That's what the Bible's saying don't do.
Right.
That's all witchcraft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you sit up and say, "Oh, I'm emotional," or "I have a bad temper because I'm a Leo." Come on, man. You got a bad temper because you got a bad temper. It ain't got nothing to do with no zodiac sign. You see what I'm saying? So he says, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Because that's what the heathen do.
Right.
God gave the stars and the moon and all that for the heathen to worship.
Right.
Not his children. Watch on. Read on.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Now he's talking about the customs of the people. Is Christmas a custom? That's a custom, right? A tradition.
Yeah.
Right. So he says the customs or the traditions of the people are vain, meaning they're lies.
Right.
Read.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Now we're getting down to it. He said one go cut a tree out of the forest.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it with silver and with gold. Now, read on.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
And then they fasten it down to the floor with hammers and nails. Now today, you go to Walmart and you can buy a tree stand and put it in. But now tell me something. This is Jeremiah during the Babylonian captivity. Now he says, They go cut a tree out of the forest, they bring it back, they decorate it with silver and gold, and they fasten it down to the floor. What does that sound like?
It sounds like they're trying to keep it, not let it take it.
No. Think about this. Listen to me. What holiday that we celebrate that you go get a tree, you decorate it, and you put it in the floor? That's Christmas. What I'm showing you is that they were doing this custom way before that, right? And listen what God says about doing that. Read it up again, top again.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
What God said do? He said don't do that. To make it plain. God said don't do that. But do we do it?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Colossians.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Do. Colossians 2:8. Yes, we do. And God said don't do it. So that lets you know, I'm gonna tell you something about Christmas. Christmas goes back to Nimrod. What it was Nimrod, he had a homosexual relation, not a homosexual, incestual relationship with his mother, Semiramis, right? And so what happened was, when he died, they said that he came back to life in that tree. That's what a tree comes from. And what they do was, everybody around used to come around and they would put gifts under that tree. And what do we do today? We put gifts under the tree, bowing down to worship that tree. That's the custom that we're doing ignorantly. Our people don't know that. They just doing it because grandma and them did it, and grandma and them before that did it. But when you know the history of it, you know where it comes from. And that's where it comes from. You see that? So now, what I got you holding? Yeah, read that.
Colossians 2:8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
So now the Bible is saying beware. Don't let nobody spoil you with philosophy and vain deceit. Remember in Jeremiah, it says the customs of the people are vain. So now he's saying vain deceit. Read.
After the tradition of men.
He says after the traditions of men. Is Christmas a tradition of men? Yeah, it's a tradition of men. Is Easter a tradition of men? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, Halloween. All of these are tradition of men, right? Read.
After the rudiments of the world.
After the rudiments of the foundation of the world. Right? Because remember, he says, you got to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Not according to this world. So he's saying, beware. Don't let nobody spoil you with the tradition of men after this world. Read.
And not after Christ.
And not after Christ. Christmas don't have nothing to do with Jesus. Easter don't have nothing to do with Jesus. Does a bunny lay eggs? What does an Easter egg have to do with Jesus Christ? Nothing. Nothing. You see that? These are traditions of men.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example.